Listen to the radio. Harry and Edna's want to show you heard it from the Three Bells.
Whatto, Harry?
And whatto, Edna. And welcome to Harry and Edna on the wireless. And what a glorious day it is today.
Is it? It's certainly not glorious outside.
It is, because we have mermaids in the studio.
Gorillas?
And gorillas. And we've got Claire Rayner, advice on dating and romance and things, all present, and maybe a little bit of performing.
So although it's glum and dull outside, it's bright and shiny inside.
Well, it's absolutely amazing. I'm trying to find my notes, because I was going to say something else, but don't worry about it. It's not important, is it? What's important? We have Miss Khandie Khisses with us. Whatto, Khandie? Hello. Who's with us live in the studio?
Yes, and we'll be talking to her in a few moments.
Okie dokie. Well, in the meantime, let's have a little bit of Judy Lee with her boyfriend.
What ho?
Did you hear that squeak?
Yeah,
that's me.
I was just warning Harry, he's squeaking again. That was Julia Lee and her boyfriends. Now, am I assuming it's lots of men that she calls her friends, or does she literally have lots of boyfriends?
You mean, is she a floozy?
No, I was trying not to use. I was trying to do it in a polite, diplomatic way. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, there's a question for you all.
Well, I think it could be a question you could ask, I guess, because it came from an album called The Best of Burlesque.
Ah, okay.
Oh. Don't ask me why.
Suddenly I feel very on the spot. And let me just say, yes, it's her many boyfriends. And back in 1865, her family, I have no idea.
No. Because according to our good friend, going totally on a tangent here, Russell, from the Chat magazine and so forth. Tour of London, Men's Wear of London, all that sort of stuff. He tweeted out today that Queen Henrietta, Prince Charles I's wife,
oh yes, was
having affairs.
Really?
Yeah. So not only did she start a war,
she was having affairs.
She was having affairs.
Is that not what started the war then?
I don't know. No, it wasn't. It was due to Catholicism.
Oh, okay.
Don't you remember? We met in the 17th century. Do you not remember all this?
No, that was such a long time ago.
Makes the Twilight Saga affair just seem so rubbish now, doesn't it?
If you remember, you were fighting for the other side.
I was a parliamentarian.
Yes. And I pushed you off your horse.
No, you tried to push me off my horse. This is an age-old argument. You never actually pushed me off my horse.
You would have gone off.
Yeah, had I not had a strop at you. I said, I don't want to get any broken bones. Still, that was our whole other life.
That's our whole other life. Now, fur tracking. So we'll do our V-disc bit. Our friend Jeff, Whatto Jeff from Charleston in America, sent us all these V-discs. V-discs are... I'll let you do the explanation. I do it every week.
No, because I don't always listen and I'll get it wrong.
You sit in front of me. How do you mean you don't listen?
I do listen. I'm usually chatting to our guests.
Hello, this is your husband talking.
There's a brewing domestic.
There is a brewing domestic and it's only, 5 minutes in?
It's all your fault, by the way.
Yeah, I'll take full blame. I wouldn't blame the other person in the room.
A victory disc, these were 78 discs that recorded for the troops and the armed force personnel during the war by the stars of the day, and they were sent out to keep people's pecker up.
Keep the morale going.
Keep the morale going. Anyway, so they weren't commercially available. You couldn't go in the shop and buy your victory disc. Anyway, our good friend Jeff, who lives in Charleston, came across a load of these and then spent hours recording them for us.
And he's not finished either. He's
No,
still busily recording for us.
Now, and we got this track by the Phil Moore 4.
Well done.
And it's either says "My Baby Says Yes" or the other version is "Yip Yip Dee Hootie."
Okay.
What ho?
Welcome to the show, Khandie Khisses.
Thank you.
It's best to describe you, I guess, as a burlesque performer. Is that right?
Yeah, we get loads of titles, but that's quite a nice fitting one.
That's mine, kind of posh.
Of it.
Burlesque performer.
Performer.
Because you don't want to be called a dancer.
No, I mean, I don't mind it, but it does infer that perhaps I do a lot more dancing than I really do.
And it's not dancing, is it? Really?
Well, there is some element in it, but I'm more a dad dancer. You worm, I can do all that.
Don't knock the dad dancing.
I tell you
Harry's
what.
very good at dad dancing.
I'm great at dad
watch
dancing. When the children broke up from school from Christmas, I collected them gangbang style. They were so impressed.
Gangnam. See, that's a phenomenon that's lost on me.
It's not good.
You don't know. My daughter wished it was lost on her, I think, after that.
Oh. And before she went to her school disco, Harry was showing her some moves to do on the dance floor, and she just looked at him and said, Daddy, no.
Daddy, no.
Just Daddy, no.
Me and my dad have dance-offs.
Do you?
Like, yeah, they're in Australia now, and we used to have dance-offs. And he's like, yeah, you're the professional, but I'm the talent. I'm like, cheers, Dad.
So, going back onto...
back on topic.
Did I just hijack your interview?
You did, and you've taken us down the wrong route. So you're a burlesque performer, but that's kind of later on in your career, because you've had such an interesting career. Done lots of you've done loads of really interesting stuff.
I'm now worried what's out there on the internet.
Right. But is it something you've enjoyed? Is it something you set out to do in your career in life, or is it something that you kind of came across, or...
Oh, God, I think I just kind of fell into it with a few nudges from friends and colleagues. I was originally in the RAF, but before that I'd been like a tailor's apprentice, worked in a corner shop.
See how interesting.
I just went at 14, I was like really bored. I lived in the West Country, I was really bored, and I was like, what can I do? And my friend's dad owned a tailor's shop, so I just started playing there and picking up needles, and he showed me a few tricks, and then eventually I went off around the world with family and stuff, and ended up joining the RAF for a while.
Wow. So did you join the RAF in this country?
Yeah, I did. I trained not far from here, actually, RAF Halton.
Okay.
And loved it. Had a great time, made some great friends, and learned how to drink really well. That's not good. I had a great time, and I became a very, very good citizen of the British
you did your
Empire.
bit for the Empire. Because I just think, I would never have put somebody who was in the RAF together with burlesque dancing, career-wise, because aren't they poles apart? Or are
they kind of are, I guess. I mean, with the military trying to teach you to work as a team, but also be individuals in that team, and it also gave you confidence in your convictions. And when I left the military, I just started doing like stand-up comedy workshops and was sort of getting into it, and it kind of opened the door to different avenues for me. But I loved being in the military, and that really steady job. I get to look at the uniform. The RAF uniform.
How
it
lovely
just lends itself, doesn't it?
It's so glamorous.
Yeah. Actually, it really was. It was really bizarre. You mean I get to wear a pencil skirt and heels for work?
Whoa.
This is in the military. Yes, I'll do this, please.
But the tights aren't that nice, are they?
It's pretty poly, I think. There are other tights available.
Yeah.
15 denier, nearly or barely black. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's quite specific in the orders, actually, what you need. I don't think anyone ever checked what we were wearing.
You couldn't go up to 16 denier. That was just...
I don't think most of us, I think, tried to go lower, because it just made your legs look like they've been like charcoal or something. You look a bit dirty legs.
So you had a career in the military and then moved on to stand-up, which again is kind of... Is it one extreme to the other? What do you have? Was that something you did before the RAF?
No, and what happened was we went to see a comedy store show, and we were sat there and thought, this is quite funny. And my friend said, you should have a go, and you could sign up to do these little one-day courses. And I said, okay, I'll have a go with some friends. I think it was just so funny. And most of the stuff, I'm going to apologise now, was about my mum. My mum's really funny, and the stuff she does, and she just doesn't think. She just opens her mouth and it just comes out, and it's just, there's some really embarrassing moments. And I just relive those, and people seem to like them. Yeah. So I started doing that like weekends when I wasn't at work, and it got a bit popular. And then through that, I eventually found burlesque, which was, I don't know if it's kind of doing a show, and a performer didn't show up, and they're like, we need another act, and everyone just looked blankly, and they were like, you're a girl, because you can dance. No, I can't. So I just came up with this quick act borrowing some guy's boxers. I remember they're from VHS, and they weren't sexy, they had and this guy was no David Beckham in underpants, and he's lovely. And I bought beer mats to cover up my breast. I thought, I'll just do a funny little dad dancing act, and it was some 80s trash number. People found it funny, and it was like, I don't have to open my mouth to be funny, I could just dance funny, and people thought it was good. And then eventually someone told me it was about burlesque, and I went investigating, and it kind of, I started mixing stand-up and burlesque. And then I stepped away from stand-up because it's quite hard to do stand-up, and I find it really exposing to do stand-up, because if it's not funny, you can't save it. You're just not funny. No.
I've done, sort of working at theatre, I've done evenings where we've had some good top-liners, comedians, I won't name names because I don't want to get hit for libel or anything, but they've been mainstream comedians, and they've gone on, before they've even gone on, they've said, I can't do it. I just can't go on.
Yeah.
And we've had to say to them, you'll be fine, you are funny, you go on. And they've come off for the interval, and just one particular comedian just lay down on the settee with a jacket over his head. So that was awful. I can't go on again. I just can't.
Quite exposing. I think when you go out there on stage, you have no other implements other than the voice and the tone in which you say it, even how your facial expressions go. And you look at a lot of comedians, like, you know, Lee Evans is very physical in his comedy.
Yeah.
And so is it Michael McIntyre, and then you look at people like Eddie Izzard, who can be, it's how he says it.
Yeah.
And you if it falls flat, and it's very noticeable because you kind of instinctively pause slightly for the funny to happen, and then it goes. Yeah. And I have died on stage. Yeah. Once, twice, maybe more times than I'll ever admit. But yeah, it's kind of, what else can you save yourself with other than carry on? And then do you go downhill or uphill? So when Burlesque happened, it added another element to the entertainment side of it. If the jokes don't work, I can dance around and find that funny.
But did you find that because you'd come through the comedy route, you knew how to just keep on going on stage? Were you already quite brave being on stage? I find when you go on in your own clothes, you're really quite comfortable because you've worn them around. But when you have to go on in a costume like I do now, it's actually more nerve-wracking. But you do go to the end, and I think if you really give a really stellar performance, I don't believe anyone should go on and be apologetic on stage unless it's the character you're going to play. But you need to attack the stage almost and give a little something to the audience. And I like the fact that, yes, you have this stage name, but you are actually exposing a part of yourself, both physically and metaphorically, if we want to go down that route, to the audience. And you have to go through with it. And, you could, even if it all goes wrong, the best thing about it is you can actually, A, cover it up, or B, make a good giggle out of it. I mean, I've had bras caught in my hair. Oh, no. I was like, yeah, man, I'm real sexy. Look at me. And then people laugh. And that's fine, because you're allowed to laugh. I've seen a girl do a really elegant fan dance and then hit herself full in the head with the feathers. Oh, no.
And you hear the audience go, oh, and then there's a little snicker, and she just winks and carries on. It's like, that's great. Yeah. You can either style it out, or you can just embrace it. Yeah. So it's good.
Better than freezing completely and losing it. Yeah.
I've done that. Like, I was so scared. I think my third performance, that I was too scared to move off the spot, and I actually have now created an act based on that experience where I'm like the awkward showgirl who just like hits herself in the head with the fans, pulls down her skirt to take half her knickers down, and bring them back up. Yeah. And it's, using experiences.
So when just going back to the comedy side, when you do a workshop in comedy, what's that involved? Because that must just be, that's not telling you how to tell jokes, is it? No,
we were told, and I've been on a few comedy workshops now, what you're told is just always carry a notebook with you and write things down. And if anyone follows me on Twitter, you'll notice I'm quite a prolific tweeter, so I'm sorry if you do follow me. And I quite prolifically write things, and you kind of start seeing things differently. But also, it's more about how you stand and the character you want to be, and how you want to look. Now, it's really easy for me to go on and be this pretty little blonde thing. Well, I say pretty. Go on. I'm gorgeous. Beautiful. And you go on and you can give that impression, but it's the words that come out and how you say it that are the most important thing for me anyway. Yeah. And you get told how to really convey emotion through it. And also how to build this character up. And you can't, it's really nerve-wracking because you have to tell the same joke over and over again. And it is not funny. Yeah. But it's probably not even funny to begin with, but it becomes almost tragic because you're at the end going, and then the dog said woof. And they're like, oh, and then everyone else who's been in the workshop with you is like, yeah, we've heard this joke 7 times now. It's still not funny. And then when you do it in a gig, you have to keep the I've only just told this today. Not 50 million times to myself in the mirror trying to get it right.
So it's good training for the performing that you were going to do later on.
It also tells you how to work a whole audience. You can't just tell a joke to one person. You have to tell it to everybody. Yeah. And that helps. With Burlesque, I like to break my audiences down into thirds. So I make sure that each third gets something. And I've even been known to go off stage and, I'm always doing that. Go off stage and really get into the audience. I like to get in their face and really give them something. And I just don't. I don't know. I don't like the barrier sometimes there, and I think if you get right in their faces, they love it. Some people are just scared and won't come back, and that's great because they've already paid for a ticket and they can't get a refund. And if they do come back, then I get paid again. It's great.
I've just gone to quickly ask because we're going to have to play a track in a minute. But I've been following you on the old Twitter, and I've got a question. And last week, poor Edna made fun of me for not getting Professor Elemental, wondering why his manservant put all his clothes on a horse.
To dry.
Yeah, because it was a clothes horse and I didn't get the gag. Oh, God. And I said to to you, I said, you have to ask about the fact that you had to do some packing today for a nude photo shoot. and you didn't get it.
I didn't get it. And I went, yeah. And Harry was going, she'd packed for a nude photo shoot. And I said, yeah, well, what's that? Right, she's doing, just, take it all apart, put it back together. Oh, yeah.
I would like to say, though, it sounds like a joke. I actually did have to pack. Do you know what? Being semi-nude, I wasn't not everything out, but they were covered up. But you actually be surprised when people think we're naked on stage when we're not. I'm wearing hair pieces, body makeup, body glitter, eyelashes. There's more on than I've got off. I wear less
Harry?
on the beach.
See, Harry?
But yeah, you are right. People did go, oh, that's really funny. And that's when I didn't realise I'd made a joke. I thought, oh, see, I'm witty on my face off.
Yeah. We can find deeper depths in your tweets than you ever knew existed.
See, second week in a row, we've exposed people to their deeper depths.
Excellent. Well, I better play a track. I was going to play another Professor Elemental, who was on the track, who was on the programme previously.
Yeah.
And last time we played this, the listenership fell like a stone.
Oh. But we love him.
We love Professor Elemental. He's brilliant. I think the thing is, we're just not sure if the listener community
is ready to embrace him yet.
But give it a go. Stick with it. Normal service will be resumed in 2 minutes 37 seconds.
What ho?
Well, what do you reckon, Mr. Elemental?
I love Professor Elemental. I just think he's very clever with his words, and it's fun. It's a good bit of fun.
I think it's classic because in the past, which we used to get heavily criticised for, every third track we used to play was an electro swing track, and we were just doggedly carried on for about a year, didn't we, playing them?
Yeah.
And then eventually we run out of decent electro swing tracks, so we decided to call it a day. And I always liked it because it highlighted how the period, the tunes of the past have so influenced modern
and how they
music.
Get used in more ways than you realise in modern music.
So, dear listener, take it as a history, as a musical education to your ears.
And in some ways, I think it's great that all these old tracks and sound bites and gosh, I forgot the bit they call it where he links his tracks together. There's a bit
sampling or something?
No, there's a bit in between. It will come back to me in a minute.
Editing?
No, there's
Sticky tape?
No, there's a special technical word. Not segue. There's something where you link tracks together with a bit of instrumental music.
You play one turntable
and
just
anyway.
This is where Twitter goes nuts and says,
what a perfect link. Hashtag Harry and Edna. Please do. Because I've got the old Twitter open, and tell us, how do you stick tracks together?
You have a track, then you have a kind of musical interlude, and then you have another track, and I'm sure there's a technical term for it. This is where I go off on a tangent, and I'm completely wrong.
I don't think Harry probably know, but I don't think she's around. I think she's running at the moment.
Oh, gosh.
You could be having one of those ear things, and run and listen to Miss Khandie Khisses.
She probably would be, actually.
And Harry and Edna on the wireless, because we are available not only on the internet across the world, but via phone app things, whatever they are.
Yes. All this technical stuff.
We're so down with it. Phone app things, hamsters on wheels, generating electricity.
So technical.
It is. But personally, I think you should go to harryandedna.co.uk and click on the tab that says wireless. And not only will you hear Miss Khandie Khisses over and over and over again, but all the other previous shows are available, aren't they, as well? And you can enjoy yourself, have an entire week of drinking the nice cup of
the brown stuff,
a nice bit of Darjeeling, and then maybe go into an Earl Grey in the afternoon while listening to the endless tones and samples of the beautiful Edna.
Whilst thinking of what that name is. It's bugging me. Please, somebody tell me.
Well, the other thing you could do is hashtag Harry and Edna to tell us what the next track is, because I've got here, it's Put On Your Old Grey Bonnet, but I haven't got the name of the act down properly. I think it's Duke Ellington, so...
Not the Casa Loma Orchestra?
No, I think they're next.
Oh,
I think it was a typo. I think this is Duke Ellington, but it may not be.
Was that you trying to multitask, trying to write the show whilst talking?
What ho?
So, Harry, we still don't know who that was, do we?
It sounded very Duke Ellington-y to me.
Okay.
By the way, Miss Khandie Khisses here does not know how do you get an elephant on wheels out the loft.
No, this is a conversation that we had last week.
And Miss Gwennon West says you're thinking about mixing.
No, it's definitely not mixing. Sorry, guys. I'm sure it begins with S. When I get home, I'm going to look on that album
and
tell you
somebody
what it says.
who nameless, who do you say, said, I'm listening you... I won't say the other word.
Oh.
Was it you were saying that?
No, she didn't. She said she'll probably say that
if
she was listening.
I thought you said she was. I see.
You
see, because Khandie's been very attentive here and is just texting away on her phone.
Yeah, that's totally. I come out for an interview and I'm just like, yeah, whatever, guys, it's still my phone. Sorry, did you want me? I'm such a tech mode. I'm the person in the cinema texting how rubbish the film is. Tweeting. To my 2,000 plus followers, who are probably now disowning me as we go.
They want to know more about your life.
I'm sure they don't. Lots of pictures of my dinner going up.
But that's kind of what makes it all so interesting, because you were tweeting out the other day about writing in your gorilla outfit.
Yep, that's a normal occurrence.
That's a normal everyday experience for you.
Well, because my line of work, often I'm a full-time performer, and I'm the Khandie Khisses brand, I guess, under the umbrella. You don't really come into a lot of interaction with humans. Humanoids. I've got a dog, but you sit at home, and I do a lot of writing as well, and I end up writing these articles, and sometimes, you know, when you're churning out articles, you get a little bit bored and you're a little bit, I think, stagnant, and you find yourself using the same terminology over and over again. And TV is great and the radio is great, but sometimes you need to jazz it up. So sometimes my friends will come round to see me, and I'll be wearing a gorilla suit or a big ball gown and a respirator. Not because I'm into just because I can, and I have it in my office, and I'll just wear it. And people are like, oh, okay, but it breaks it up. And actually, just engaging a different side of your brain kind of helps the other side. I believe in taking avid breaks from work. I mean, I rarely find myself in the kitchen because, you know, I burn things. But if it's coffee only in the kitchen, popcorn maybe, and walking the dog and wearing gorilla suits, it inspires me.
See, I have this picture of your friends coming round, and there's you sort of full glamorous with your ball gown on, tapping away on your keyboard with your beautiful red nails.
I mean, there's pictures on my Facebook of me in a gorilla suit on the tube. They might still be up there. If not, I'll probably find them and put them up. But there's ones of me just randomly lounging around backstage in a gorilla suit, drinking pints. And I'm a classy lady. But the gorilla suit is part of an act. But it was actually from a stag do.
Oh, really?
I went on a stag do. The stag was a banana, and we were all gorillas and monkeys. And when he got off the tube, we all chased after him making noises. So no idea what the other commute is for, but it was a great day out, and I recommend it.
But saying that, London, anything goes, doesn't it, sometimes?
I
think people just thought, yeah, okay.
Just like, okay.
Yeah, another
Metro.
random thing. Yeah. So when you moved from comedy into burlesque, how did you get started? When it was suggested that you do some burlesque performance?
I can remember I had a different name back then. I came up with a name, and I didn't really do too much research into it. I just came up with one and thought, yeah, it's great. And then you start to learn there's actually a community. But the first thing I did was, I'm an avid people watcher. Sometimes you see me in coffee shops, and I'm really sorry if you think I'm glaring at you. I'm actually just watching your mannerisms because I'm a weirdo like that. And it helps me learn, and I watch how people interact. But I started watching people and watching different dancers, and really, rather than the modern, the neo-burlesque, going further back and looking at the really old school dancers, and also other styles from like temple dancers and that. And then what happened was I just started building up costume pieces and coming up with just basic ideas and then applying for shows, and I got a break, and it was great. And you kind of build up this little reputation, but then I realised that my name wasn't quite suitable. So I changed my name, but I did it quite tactlessly. I went onto the local burlesque networking site and just said, someone name me. And this lovely username called Broomstick Pilot, which is great,
cool.
very witty.
Yeah.
She came up with Khandie Khisses, and we spell it slightly differently.
Yeah.
Just so it would be really awkward to put on posters and people could misspell it all the time. But I like it. I wouldn't change it, and I can't now. It's tattooed on me. So
that's you're forever imprinted with that.
But
now.
it's still better than my original name, which was Morning Glory. Which, if anyone's a little bit, my mum was less impressed with that name. My dad thought it was hilarious, but grandparents just didn't look.
No, they just glossed over that.
They just kind of went, yes.
If you can think of something better, please do. So, did you have to? Because you quite interestingly earlier you were saying burlesque actually goes back a lot further than people realise. It's not some kind of turn of the century invention. It's been going on for years and years and years.
For me, when I started researching into burlesque, I I kind of saw there were elements from all over the world, influences in it. I mean, people do fire and all sorts of different things. So I started looking and I started seeing maybe fundamental elements of burlesque in other cultures and through history. And I you know, you can watch films and see these temple dancers from Roman and Spartan days dancing and kind of like enticing and teasing. I think, well, that's some elements of burlesque in that. So maybe we go back a lot further than we like to think. And so it's not new. It's just thanks to the world of networking, the internet, we've kind of brought it right up into everyone's face, so everyone's more aware of it. Yeah, I think that's where the fault lies. People just think it's a new thing. Well, actually, if you look back, it's been around. It's just maybe not been as publicised as much. And
there's a slight misconception, isn't there, as to what burlesque really is. Yeah. It really isn't that seedy backroom. I always think of films where you see these really smoky joints and lots of chaps and
working men's clubs. Hey, I've had some great nights in working men's clubs.
No, slightly seedier than working men's clubs.
Well, I kind of, you know, strippers in the series club. They, I mean, I'm not going to berate anyone who does that. I mean, you know, it's their own choice, and you know, we could go down that route for hours about it. But burlesque is more about entertainment. And make it some elements of comedy and tease and it's less about entertaining maybe the crotch and more about the mind and your funny bone. I mean, you know, the word needs to parody and to make fun of, and so I kind of try and stay a little bit truer to that, or the removal of garments, although you never go completely. Normally, it's incidental to me. You know, there are some performers who don't take off anything. Yeah. And I just think it's how you interpret it. It's a very loose now because it's so popular. It's a very loose term, an umbrella term for a lot of different things.
Yeah, and that's where it gets very mixed, isn't it? Yeah. And so people think the wrong thing of burlesque because they think, oh, that must mean
you see certain types of burlesque and you think, oh, that's it. That must be what it is. Everyone sees it and goes, that's burlesque. But actually, there are some great other performers who do burlesque. So yeah, and they're all different styles.
And is it really Dita Von Teese that brought it to the surface, kind of? Not that it was ever underground, but do you know what I mean?
Mainstream.
Made it more mainstream.
I think her relationship with Marilyn Manson probably had a lot to do with how popular people in the music started paying attention. But, you know, Kitten DeVille, who's one of my idols, was performing for people in America and in music videos. And, I mean, you know, Catherine Delish was the lady who kind of, I guess, taught Dita. I think through clever marketing and imagery and networking, Dita's definitely brought it to the mainstream, but we have our own, if you like, Dita equivalent, which is in Modesty Blaze, and I think she was with the Noisettes a while ago, and thanks to the internet, it's really spread open. You know, you can't move without probably moving some towns without seeing a burlesque performer or hearing about it. I mean, I've been sat in a pub where I've looked to my left and recognised a performer, looked to my right and there's a poster about another one. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
You know, in my hometown in Exeter, the Kinky and Quirky have got their show, and everyone seems to be talking about it down there.
Kinky and Quirky.
Oh, I know.
What a great name.
Probably one of the best shows I've been on. I hate to put a plug out for them, but I do love them, and they do talkie, and I'm ex-mother, and I love them. They are, you know, it's my home. I'm coming home to the county.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more after this next couple of tracks about your performances.
What ho?
So, welcome back to Khandie. Now, we have got to talk about your Mermaid performance, and it's an underwater mermaid act taking the scene by storm. So do they kind of roll on a big tank onto stage and then you dive in?
It's not. I don't do it so much in the burlesque community. It's more installation and at parties. What happened was someone said, "Hey, you know, you look like a crazy kind of gal. Could you do something underwater?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." Didn't think about how this would work. And then thanks to Scuba Ducks in Aylesbury, nice little plug actually, they helped me with like learning how to use octopus, which is a breathing apparatus, and and Immortal Eye Photography came down and they did some video footage. I could watch it back, and basically underwater burlesque, it has been done before. What I did was I contacted as many mermaid acts that are underwater. There's a lot above, like not on water, and there's a lot below. And I contacted, they were like, no, crack on, do it. The ones who wrote back to me, so I did it. And I've been to Ibiza and done it. And I've done for some quite well-known diners in the swimming pool. And it's really great because you don't always have to remove the garment. You can just swim around like a live mermaid, but you have to be quite interactive. And like I've played noughts and crosses with somebody at the bottom of a tank. They don't always bring on a tank. Sometimes you're just in a pool.
Like a little kid's paddling pool?
No, not quite. But like a little swimming pool. I wanted an Olympic-sized swimming pool, which was a bit scary because when the lights go down, it's like just black water, and I'm like, oh no. But I love it. People. It's something. I work very closely with my costume designer, Vintage Lindy Lou. We made this costume. There's a few more we're going to make, and people just seem to just.
So it's a proper tail.
Oh, it's a proper tail. It's fully submergible, and you know, it's great kids parties. They're my friends' little girls. Like, I've got a mermaid at my party. What have you got? I've got a clown. Mermaid trumps.
Yeah.
Great. People love it.
How funny! So, but it is a really popular act.
Yeah, obviously it's more difficult to use because everyone's got a swimming pool ready.
Yeah.
But it's something I take on holiday as well. Just like, look at me, checking in my mermaid tail.
How can we do this? I mean, this for our daughter. We got a bath. Does that work?
Yeah,
it's a freestanding. Yeah. It'd be like the film Splash where she's laying in the bath.
I've done it in rivers. I've been in the sea in Hastings. I don't recommend that. It's freezing.
There is the canal.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Shopping trolley. I'm sure your canals are lovely.
Yeah.
I'm just,
we wouldn't want her tangled up in a shopping trolley, would we? Waving at us to help you.
That's just how mermaids drown, darling.
Yeah. Oh, how fantastic. So I bet that's... Do you have quite a giggle doing that one?
Well, not underwater, but when you're out, it's absolutely knackering. Honestly,
Is it?
Your abs get worked and you to swim like a mermaid. I don't think you've done it. You can't really swim as you normally do. You have to sort of do like a wave with your whole body.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm demonstrating with my hand, but clearly no one can see it. You have to do this weird wave.
I can see what you mean.
Yeah. And to get the propulsion there, you've got the fin, and suddenly what used to be like, oh, I can stand up because your legs are together. You can't.
So you have to be carried, do you?
Yeah. It's such a hardship being carried in and out of a pool by dashing men with muscular arms. Oh.
So that's why you always insist on that.
Yeah, it's for health and safety. I need them to carry me in. And you also often have a diver in with you for health and safety in the water.
Yeah.
And they just sort of they just have a giggle. Like, how do they get to swim with a mermaid? So.
Brilliant. But that's not the only act you do, because you also do one with fire. Is that
I
right?
do a few with fire. I left fire about 6 years ago. I decided to give it a rest, and thanks to Red Sarah, a teacher, I went back into fire. So I do fire eating, body burning. No, it's fantastic. I have to say, it's so nice to go back to it. Yeah. And realise how much you remember, and muscle memory. I remember this bit, and putting it in my mouth.
So you do wipe the fire up your arms and
I did it recently at the Pinewood Hotel, and I was just warming up, and people were just getting back into it, and people were like, oh, that's amazing. I'm like, wow, I forgot this looks pretty swish.
Yeah. So do you then have sort of special apparatus that you have to kind of... How do you prepare your body for it?
Well, as you notice, I've got no hair on my arms. Yeah. Because your body, the fire just takes them off. And
they just don't grow back.
They do, but they're stubbly, and I'd do so much fire now, no point. Great way to save on waxing. But you kind of have to take good care of your skin, and you've got to remember your skin itself probably not as flammable, so no lotions on you, no perfume or hairspray, because you go up, so you just take good care of yourself. Lots of fluids, kids. Yeah.
So you enjoy doing your burlesque performing, but you also do a little bit of teaching as well.
I do teach burlesque and body confidence. Cool. Everyone from ladies who have suffered from cancer, breast cancer, right up to drag queens.
Wow, and, so a nice big scope of people.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how much body confidence affects people. And I teach burlesque. I teach in Aylesbury. We've just finished our term. I'm looking to teach again in Milton Keynes. I've had a lot of interest in Milton Keynes. So we're just looking at venues at the moment. But yeah, it's surprising how many people want to learn. Yeah. And even if they never want to perform, they want to just have a go at it. And who doesn't want to faff around with some feathers and, so listen to some music? And...
You have to let me know when that is. Yeah, I want to faff with feathers, Harry. So how would I find out about when your classes start?
Probably best going on my website or follow my Twitter. I'm prolific Twitter, so you just hashtag me or tweet me.
And what's your...
Oh, it's my spelling of my name.
Yeah, you have to spell it out.
www.khandieKhisses.com. Khandie Khisses. I'm really sorry I spelled it that way, but it's stuck now. It's tattooed. I can't change it.
So all that info will be on your Facebook page?
Yeah, and if not, just email me. I'm on all the social networking because I'm a bit of a bit of a nut job when it comes to I've got a bit of feeling like someone replies to me, I have to reply back. Like,
but then could you just spend hours replying back to all these people? And
it's weird because I get people from all over the world, and I get emails in my inbox. Recently I wrote about like some of the fan mail I get, and people are like, oh God, I'm going to send you some as well. Whoa. And I get things sent to my house, and I'm like, oh, it's all a bit...
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird how when you look back, how many people have like wrote to you, and how widespread you get, because YouTube and the internet have just thrown open the doors, and it's strange. I get mail from Iceland and I think I got one once from Madagascar, which I was it's pinned on my wall. I'm like, that's really impressive.
Yeah, frame that one.
I don't know how they managed to send it. I'm sure they have postbox there, but it's just bizarre to get it.
So have you got performances coming up that people can come and see you at?
I perform 3-4 times a week, but what public ones, because
some are private. I'm assuming.
We do a lot of private shows, particularly around Buckinghamshire. I've got a couple of private shows, but I'm in Chatham at the Brooks Theatre on next Friday, which is going to be lovely. It's absolutely stunning theatre. Do you know what? I haven't brought my diary, and I'm really rubbish. So if anyone's gig got coming up, I'm really sorry. I will be there, but I forgot.
But it's all on your
it's all on my website.
On your website.
She says I'm going to run back tonight and update it. But
make sure they're all there.
Just find me on Facebook. That's the best place. There's always pop up. There is a couple of secret gigs that are short notice announcements for very good reasons. Yeah. But you're going to see me at festivals this year, and there's some really big news coming out. I mean, just done a music video for the band The Hurt. I've recently just shot my first film, so it's all a bit. Yeah, you have
to let us know when it's all public.
It's all absolutely nuts.
Well, we'll have to go over to a track, but we'll get to say goodbye in just a second. But do go and visit your Facebook. Just quickly tell us how to spell it once more time.
Okay. Well, on Facebook it's Miss Khandie Khisses, so it's KHANDIE KHISSES.
Brilliant.
What ho?
Ooh. It's ended. It's ended. Quick! Get the mermaid out the pool.
Quick!
Splish splash, making a splash.
That's so cool. I want to see that.
It's on YouTube. It's on my website.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
I'm going to go and have a look.
Training session there.
How about a gorilla stroke mermaid? Under the fur,
That's like some Victorian fairground attraction. I'm so going to do. Do you know what you've done? Like, for my head, I'm like,
it's got to be done.
Yeah,
we could do some sort of like show.
With a beard.
We could do some sort of show about sort of like Victorian oddities and sort of like but in a variety style and all these weird things, and we could get Professor Elemental to that one because he'd really fit in and they'd understand what he's doing then.
And then after him, we could wheel on this big tank, and a hairy mermaid could dive in. See, there's a whole show.
And an elephant on wheels.
Yes, can add that. Wheel him in and wheel him off again.
I'll pay good money to see that.
I would. Khandie will come along.
Right, yeah. I'll be pleased to.
There's a whole new act in the wait.
Do you know what? I'm half tempted when I'm doing my next dating writing. I'll be like, what can I dress up today as? Gorilla mermaid. I'm so actually I'm going to send you a picture. Head mermaid outfit, just sat in like a bathtub or something.
And then you could also do the bearded mermaid.
See, this is a whole level I've not explored yet with this mermaid.
See, that costume can come out again and again.
And then you're talking about the hair on the arms. You could do the waxing of the gorilla.
Burning it off with your fire.
Because if you ever wax, because it hurts.
I don't know. I've never been a gorilla. Anyway, we've got to go because we've got the next act. I'm so sorry. We've got to cut it short. We have to cut it short. It's Glenn Miller. Somebody you wanted. It's your mum. Your mum. You got into trouble.
Mama, we got into trouble last week, so we've not played a bit of Glenn. And she wanted Diana Durban. Am I right, Harry?
Well, she hasn't got that.
No, sorry.
So you get half told off.
So I'm only
This is the St. Louis Blues March, but it's time for me to go. So I'm going to say toodle pip.
And it's ta-ra from me.
And bye-bye from me.
What ho?